Well, time to welcome our market guest then. Sachin Shah, fund manager at Emkay Investment Managers, now joins in. Sachin, hi, good morning. Let's start by talking about the pharma stocks, Lupin in particular, and the kind of decline that we have seen from the recent highs. Do you think it's time to take profit in the healthcare space, or is this a correction that you will use to buy?
Well, my sense is that the overall pharma space per se, I think the valuations are fairly rich. Clearly, I don't think it's time to allocate more money to this sector because even if the companies deliver in the range of 20-25% compounded earnings for next 2-3 years, for the stocks to deliver that kind of returns is going to be challenging with this kind of valuations. Of course, pharma space, but there's always one big thing is that it's a fairly event specific, and a couple of products can actually change the profits of the company in a very significant way. So barring those exceptions, I think overall pharma space I think is currently trading at fairly rich valuations.
Okay. Sachin, hi, good to see you in today. We'll be talking to the management of LIC Housing Finance soon. How did you read the numbers, and would you see any further upside once, maybe the deferred tax liability settles and the profit growth becomes more obvious in this year as opposed to the previous financial year?
Yeah, firstly, the disclaimer, we do own LIC Housing in our portfolio management services. And we are quite happy to see the results. I think the asset growth at about 18-19% was a good positive surprise. The asset quality was good, but I think the most important highlight is that the margin trajectory, the NIMs and the spreads have actually been very, very good for the last 2-3 quarters now, and they're consistently going up the way the management has been guiding. So I think that is one thing. LIC Housing has always been a good company. They have almost 100,000 crore, 1 lakh crore kind of a book, and most part of its book is all retail, more than 95%. So we really like this space. The only thing that was always lagging was the spreads, but that has improved quite significantly in the last 2-3 quarters, and we hope that this trajectory continues for the next next couple of years also. They have a con call, I believe, today afternoon, so we'll get more guidance from there on.
Okay, Sachin, what about some of these auto names, even auto ancillaries, where we have seen quite a bit of correction of late?
Well, actually, auto and auto ancillary stocks, I think the outlook continues to be very strong if I take the next 2-3 years, mainly because obviously the domestic demand will come back very soon, as soon as the economy revives. Plus, on the auto ancillary side, I think there's a huge export opportunity. The only thing is that in the intermediate, probably some of the stocks have run up a little bit ahead of time. The valuations are a little ahead of time. So I think maybe there will be some bit of correction, but I think that this is one space where one would look to, add positions at the right valuations and at the right prices.
Okay. Sachin, what is the expectations from the market, or what would the market like to see from the second half of the budget session?
Well, overall, I think we are in a classic consolidation phase at this point in time because, whenever we meet some of the companies at the ground level, things are a little slow at this point in time, whereas the valuations have run a little bit ahead of time. So I think we will be in this consolidation phase for at least next couple of quarters. Plus, we have monsoons. We will have to see how that pans out, and how the rural and the semi-urban demand, which has slowed down, which is what we saw in the Q3 results. Let's see how it turns out in the Q4 results. But overall, I think we should be in the more or less in a consolidation phase for the next 1 or 2 quarters.
Okay, Sachin, any stocks, ideas that you like at current levels in terms of either the large caps or the mid caps?
No, we are in the earnings season, so as and when the earnings come, and as I said, we already own LIC Housing where the results were good. We own Bajaj Corp again where the results were good. So as and when the earnings come out, we'll keep on having our views. Typically in the earnings season, we don't have any pre-decided views because we would like to see the latest numbers and then decide the trends.
Okay. Sachin, what would your opinion, or how would you maybe approach the likes of Yes Bank and HDFC Bank ahead of their numbers this week?
HDFC Bank, it's almost like a no-brainer. It's been quarter after quarter they've delivered consistent performance, and I don't expect any major shocks there. But after seeing the IndusInd Bank results, where there has been some issues with asset quality, everybody has been a little bit worried on that part. Yes Bank, if you would like to watch that space as far as how the asset quality actually pans out, because this is one quarter where everything will have to, most of it will actually have to come out, because there is no more restructuring from here on. So all the banks will try to clean up as much as they can in this quarter probably.
Okay. And what would your view possibly be on the likes of Reliance, and how would you have read the numbers?
Reliance, clearly the numbers were decent. In fact, they were a little better than expectation. But I think as far as Reliance is concerned, the biggest, that it's more like a wait and watch at this point in time from investors' perspective, because the large part of the incremental capital allocation, almost now I believe 65 to 70,000 crores, maybe a little higher as far as their committed capital is concerned, has gone in the telecom side of the business. And how that business actually pans out, or what is their actual strategy, I think we will only come to know in the next 1 or 2 months, or maybe in the next couple of quarters. I think only then we will get a clear visibility in terms of the outlook for this business.
Okay, fair enough, Sachin. Disclosures you'd like to leave us with?
Well, yeah, I did mention that we own already LIC Housing, and we also own some of the bank stocks. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, Sachin. Thanks very much for joining in and talking to us.